take a few minutes to talk about why some people are affected by mold more than others. And it can feel a little complicated. So I'm going to use visuals here, but usually it has to do with a lot of factors. It has to do with how this person may be before they were in mold. Maybe there was a person who's very athletic, constantly eating healthy, doing right, taking time for themselves. Maybe there's another person who does some of that to some degree. Maybe there's another person who is very traditional American, eating normal American food and, doing normal American things, smoking, vaping, drinking alcohol, whatever it is. Just a variety of backgrounds there can make a really big impact before someone goes into mold. The other thing that can really affect people is their genetics, because some people detox better than others, and that is a genetic thing. Also, it has to do with the type of mold that the person may have been exposed to. So if it's something like Aspergillus niger, Stachybotrys, Chaetomium, these are really intense, hard, neurological, damaging molds compared to some of the others that can damage but not quite as intense. It also has to do with how long the person was exposed to mold. So some people may be exposed to mold for a few months and then they find it and get out. Other people may be exposed to mold for years before they find it, decades even, before they really know what's going on and find it. So a lot of these factors kind of factor in, but I want to show with visuals a little bit more of how this really works. So most people have some things in their bodies that may not work. We've got a little virus, a little bacteria, something that doesn't belong, but it's in there, and there's plenty of room for us to feel good and function just fine, right? Well, mycotoxins are what we're talking about from mold, and that's not the mold spores themselves. That's the poison from the mold spores that actually gets released. It's that poison that gets in the body and really makes us sick. So, for those who are pretty normal and athletic, they have some. For those who are normal, athletic, but have some problems with detoxing, but still try to stay healthy, this is their body. For those who live a pretty standard life, but maybe their body doesn't detox, it's very full because their body is not ever eliminating these toxins. So the problem is, this person's in mold, they know they feel it, but it's not as bad because they have plenty of other room for feeling okay and functioning. This person feels it, knows something's wrong, but doesn't know how, their body just can't keep up. This person is at complete saturation level. There is no room for anything else. The problem with detoxing is that 1/3 of the population doesn't detox or is genetically predisposed to not ridding those mycotoxins well. And this is what we see a lot of. The problem is we go to detox and we're doing things like this person's doing saunas and they're sweating and they're working out and they're taking different anti-inflammatories and they're taking antifungals and they're taking binders, and you can see we're making progress with this person, but this is a slow process, right? Because even the healthy person, it takes a while to get this down. This person's going to do the same thing and they're trying the same protocol, but you know what? They have a lot further to go because their body just doesn't detox as well and they're still feeling pretty miserable. This person can try and detox and it looks like one drop at a time is all that's coming out because you're trying to put in things like vitamins and minerals and binders, and there's just no room for it to go. So trying to take it out can actually hurt the person in the process if you don't go nice and slow, one little drop at a time, because there's a very delicate balance here in trying to mitigate this as much as possible. It's really hard to understand too, because as we're doing this, and you saw the long, slow process, even for the healthy person, you go through normal life. And these people may have moved out of mold. They're no longer in the house or the building that made them sick, but let's say they go shopping and they're exposed to more mold in a moldy building. Well, this person may feel it, but they have plenty of room to really deal with it. And this person over here went shopping, and okay, they're going to feel it a little more because there's not a lot of room here to do anything. But this person goes shopping, and literally they're spilling over. Their bodies cannot handle anything. They are at complete full capacity for toxins, and this will put this person out for a week straight, laid out in bed because they're sick because they went into a building with mold in it for a very short time. It's the same situation if they get in a friend's car and the car may have a little bit of mold, and for everyone else in that car, they're okay. But this person is not, and it hurts them. And the other problem is how these people function. So this person has room to function even though they feel slow and lethargic and maybe some inflammation. They still have room to function. This person is not functioning near as well, but still functioning. This person is so delicate, they get up to move, and they're literally overflowing toxins. That means that yes, when you have somebody who's been exposed to mold and toxins and toxicity, and their bodies are like this, they're really hard to be around. They're exhausting. They are sick all the time. They're so negative. They're so toxic. Because there is no room physically for anything else. Yes, they're toxic. Yes, they're negative. Yeah, there's not room for anything else until they do some healing, and very little can happen at a fast pace. Though it can happen, it just has to go much slower. So they need just as much support as these people do. It's very hard to determine what you're going to be like, no matter how you were like before the mold, what your body is going to do and how it's going to tolerate it or not tolerate it. And it can be really frustrating for loved ones to understand this process and how long it takes. It can take years to heal for this person, or this person could just take a couple months. And they need different things and different environments and different types of support. So I do encourage you, if you have friends, to just be very supportive and be there for them as much as possible. And by the way, in our household, just so you know, we have one of these, and two of these people in our house. And this one died because of the mold. And by the grace of God, came back. Because mold is very unpredictable. And we don't get to choose how it goes, not even the healthiest of us. Sometimes bizarre incidents can happen because of mold. And it does bizarre things to the mind, body, and all parts of it. So I ask that if you do have a loved one who's been affected, please be sympathetic. Give them as much support as you can. Have patience.